Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mengs, and I welcome you guys to the start of a brand new Let's Play. This time around, we are playing Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn Maniac mode. Are you excited, Mecca? Woohoo! After 70 parts of fucking Maniac mode, this is gonna feel so good! Ah!
Yeah, it's only gonna last one Path of Radiance enemy phase, but it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, ever since we begun the Path of Radiance Maniac mode Let's Play, I've pretty much just been dreaming about playing this game, because it's a really good game, don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine, because I can find so many flaws in it, but at the same time, some of the things it tries to do and some of the things it actually does are really well done. It's really a pretty game. It's an ambitious game. It's a big game. It's got a lot of experiments in it, which I always applaud. It has some cool characters in it. I don't know. I like it. It's fun.
It's got a bit of a Kaga vibe to it, doesn't it?
In a way, yeah. Mostly, like, some of the gameplay chapters definitely remind me of Kaga Emblem. Others, not so much. But, you know, there's a lot of variety in the maps. I'll say that much. There's a lot of variety.
So, a lot of people have been asking me, Mangs, since this is going to be your second time playing Radiant Dawn on the channel, what's going to be different about this Let's Play? What's going to be different about it? Well, first of all, you're going to have Mecha here, which is different. Second of all, it's going to be in crisp 60 FPS, I forgot how to talk there for a moment. And it's going to be really good quality, like both audio and visual-wise.
Oh, I thought you meant gameplay quality. I was like, no.
No, that's gonna be remaining the same. But we are actually gonna be playing on the new Mangs difficulty.
Oh, you said Maniac, you liar. I thought we were gonna play Maniac. I don't want to play Mangs mode.
Mangsiac. So basically, everyone's been wondering, Mangs, how are you gonna transfer the save bonuses from your Path of Radiance Let's Play into a English Radiant Dawn ROM, because I'm not going to play Japanese Radiant Dawn. There's no translation patch. I'd like to see what's going on. Thank you very much. So I actually got a guy in my Discord named Dunal. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but he was so kind to hack me a ISO file where he imported the transfers from our previous Let's Play manually. And the characters that made it to the end was Ike, Marcia, Khalil, Joffrey, Devdon, and Kieran.
Rest in peace, Oscar.
Yeah, everyone's gonna go like, but Oscar, Oscar died, guys. If you watch the final part, he died to an Astra Swordmaster. He's not listed, but Gifka's part of this transfer as well. He added him in last minute because he forgot about him, but Gifka did get his strength transfer.
Can't blame him.
I will say, though, something that I find incredibly interesting about transfer bonuses is that Lagoose really gets a lot out of them because they effectively get +4.
Yeah, if they do get a transfer. But on the other hand, Lagoose transfers are really rare.
They are. I mean, I guess you could give Ronald some transfers, but yeah.
I haven't checked, but even that sounds unlikely.
So as you can see, we didn't get a lot of characters to 20, but we got the ones that mattered.
We didn't get a lot of characters to survive. I think half the cast died.
I lost so many guys. And no, I'm not playing Iron Man. That was actually the #1 worry people had. They were like, please don't play Iron Man, Mangs.
Iron Man is a pitfall.
Yeah, no.
I will say I am also probably never playing Iron Man on my channel again.
Oh, yeah, it's, I will do. I will do one Iron Man Let's Play, but that's not
I recommend against...
yeah, I mean, people recommended against Path of Radiance Maniac mode, and look how that went. So, we're going to be jumping into the game. A lot of people have been wondering whether or not we're going to skip the story. It's probably going to be a yes on that one. We're going to, maybe let it play out in the background sometimes. Maybe we'll
let the cutscenes go and then skip the...
We can watch the cutscenes, and we can listen to the narrator, because he's got a really cool voice. We can do that. Just like voice acting without having to voice act it. This is pretty cool, right?
Basically, listen to voice acting.
Listen to someone else do the voice acting. There's a clear difference there. But yeah, we can watch the cinematics. They're pretty cool. Here we get to see, Soph play Karate Kid. And we get to see how bad soldiers are. They can't kill an unarmed. So although Soph is pretty OP in this game,
It's a realistic representation of what the Dawn Brigade fights are like. Soph solos everything, and Micaiah is like...
It's true. Micaiah can, blind people. Yeah, there's that stupid bird.
You better not say that about that bird, okay? That bird can fuck you up.
Yeah, that bird can fuck us up. Also, might as well talk over the cinematic. A lot of people have been wondering if I'm gonna get the second playthrough perks, like Peleos and stuff like that. Yes. The answer is yes. I'm even gonna try to get the secret character towards the end. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, but I'm gonna try to get him.
I wonder how many people watch this without having seen the game beforehand.
Probably not a lot of people. So
Radiant Dawn's one of the least played ones because it's so rare. It's hard to get for money, like in real life. You have to emulate it, but pretty much unless you want to, like, it's so expensive.
It is really
it's
expensive.
Like $75 to $100.
It is so freaking expensive. Like, I think I saw a copy go on eBay for like $200 or something like that. It's
Jesus.
ridiculous because it's not being produced anymore. So they're basically collector's items.
If you don't want to get hurt, don't struggle.
Micaiah's like, if only I had better base stats. Like, Jagen's here. Look at me. I got good bases. I have a good unit.
If only they just use those torches for something effective.
You can only use torches to gain line of sight, Micaiah.
My headcanon is that Soth is actually a Lagoose, because you can see him punching people.
Is he branded?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to spoil the story.
I don't I think most of the people who have watched this before, or I think most of the people who watch this Let's Play know the story.
Okay, so... But you said secret character, you didn't say his name, so...
No, that is true. I said secret character.
So I guess we just keep out the really big plot twists.
That could, probably.
We can discuss like details that don't really matter much. Like, for example, like we know Soth is not branded, but...
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Someone else in the Dawn Brigade is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We can keep that a secret. So yeah, here we are, the first map, and
Hey, where's Soth? Give me back Soth. Give me a bit of units.
It's okay, we got Edward.
Oh, okay, it's fine. That looks about as good. Yeah, I'll take it. Sure. Seems good.
So one of the best parts about getting a save like this is we get fast map animations. And to everyone going like, Mangs, play with that. No. Just no.
I just remember during Maniac, during the finals of Path of Radiance, people were like, we want animations. You were like, no, you're mistaken. You don't want animation.
You're just
very
wrong.
mistaken.
Like sometimes you think you want something and you don't.
I mean, I know when I first watched this game on the Let's Play, because before I played it, I watched someone else play it, and I got tired of the animations pretty quickly. I liked them for like the first 1 or 2 maps, but then I just started skipping the gameplay entirely because it was like,
Yeah. So one of the things I really like about Radiant Dawn is how pretty it is. It is visually really pretty to look at. The music is breathtakingly good. And it just has a very nice feel about it. Like, Path of Radiance has a clunkiness to it.
Yeah, for sure. Stupid GameCube.
The GameCube is just not very flattering. But, wow, like, this game just has a smoothness to it. Like, from the sound the cursor makes, I really like the little subtle sound it makes when you flip it around. It's really cool.
There's so many details too, like the little marketplace and the feathers on the ground or something.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even just the scenery in the background is really beautiful. So
like you can't even go to that many parts of this map, but they still made a bunch of like houses.
They did. It's
alleyways.
Yeah, it's great. So of course, what we're gonna do, what people have been expecting us to do, we're gonna review the entire roster. When I read through the comments, a lot of people say that they actually, some of them primarily watch the Let's Plays just for these segments. I don't really know why, but people really like to hear us talk about them, give them ratings, shit like that.
Maybe you could just wait for the compilations to come out.
Yeah, I guess you could do that too, but or you can watch both and give me more views. But since you guys obviously think this is so interesting, we're gonna start by reviewing Micaiah. So Micaiah, she is the main character of the first arc. There are like 4 or 5 arcs in total, I think. I think a lot of people are gonna expect me to shit-talk Micaiah because I struggled so much on my first playthrough of this game because she kept dying. Yes, Micaiah is made of tinfoil paper. She will get one-shot by a bunch of enemies in the first few maps, so you simply cannot place her on the front lines. She will die. However, I think that Micaiah is a pretty interesting unit as far as a lord goes. I mean, obviously she's a light magic user, which is not fantastic, but she's got some very interesting aspects to her. I mean, sure, she does some nice damage. She's not going to be, like, doubling and one-rounding enemies. But she can do some nice chip damage when you need her to, and her growth rates are pretty insane. She's got an 80% magic growth, she's got an 80% luck growth, and a 90% resistance growth, which is pretty ridiculous. But sadly, on the other hand, she also has like a 40% hit points and 20% defense growth, so she's pretty much never gonna get more survivable unless you like give her an angelic robe or something like that. What I love about Micaiah is her special skill, Sacrifice. It allows her to drain 10 hit points from herself and heal an ally for 10 health. It also cures status, which is pretty good, but it also gives Micaiah 10 experience, so it's essentially free experience. So whenever there's nothing to attack and someone's injured, you should always sacrifice them just to give Micaiah some extra experience. Eventually, I think she gains staves. I don't remember if it's her second or third tier class. Do you remember?
She gains staves on their first promotion.
Yeah, so she becomes a staff bot eventually, which is really, really nice. And her insane magic allows her to like reach really far with physics and stuff like that. So I think Micaiah is a really interesting unit. Yeah, she's a bit tricky to use in the Dawn Brigade arc, but so is everyone. As that's not like Soth or Nolan. So I rate Micaiah 3 out of 5 stars. I think she's alright for what she does. She's not amazing, but she's not like this. Like, she's certainly no Lyn. Let me just say that. She's not Lyn. People have been comparing her to Lyn. That's not fair. So I think 3 out of 5 stars is fair to her. Well, what do you have to say about Micaiah, Micah?
Micaiah is, as you said, very interesting in part 1. The problem I have with Micaiah is that the game outpaces her in a lot of different ways. First of all, it's her speed. She's so slow that she gets doubled by some things. It's also just a problem the Dawn Brigade has in general, where they start in the first tier, but the game becomes a lot more demanding, and it's hard to get them promoted to the second and then a third tier in a timely fashion. And as a result, they fall behind. And Micaiah's promotions especially are so badly timed. Like, her first promotion is at the end of part 1. Like, more casual players might not have gotten there to level 20, and then the more hardcore players, I guess, will probably not even have gotten to level like 3 or 4 or something, because she can grow that slowly. Because you get a lot of units that are just so much more efficient at killing enemies with so much more movement and durability that Micaiah is easy to fall behind. Like, if this was a more traditional Fire Emblem, then it would be very easy to raise Micaiah in a normal and slower fashion. You could just promote her whenever you want, maybe. But in Micaiah's case, her promotions are very poorly timed. You'll find, like, I always find myself being like, okay, this playthrough, I'm going to be using Micaiah. I'm going to use Sacrifice whenever I can. I'm going to use Staffs whenever I can. I'm going to feed her kills whenever I can. But every chapter after she joins, she gets worse and worse, like most of the Dawn Brigade. And in the end, it just feels pointless to use her in a way. And that's why I'm personally leaning towards 2 stars for Micaiah. Although I do find her staff botting helpful, but she's also not around very much after part 1, and she's just not very good in those chapters. She's okay, like, she's a good staff bot in those, but not amazing. I think you'll if this sounds vague because you haven't played this game, then you'll see what I mean throughout the playthrough, because I'm pretty sure, like, in this playthrough, Micaiah is not going to be super good at combat or anything, but I do think she's interesting. She also has before I forget, she also has a personal tome called the Thani that lets you one KO armor knights and mounted units with her, which is pretty interesting. It's like a tradition for lords to have some kind of anti-cavalry armory weapon, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's very useful in, like, if you're playing fast, but if you're playing casually, it can be nice occasionally. So that.
It is really nice in one of the upcoming chapters with a pretty strong Cavalier boss that guards an exit. I remember she can, like, one-run him, I think.
I always kill with Soth, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the Thani is like a rapier in light form, man. It's pretty good. It's even better than a rapier, really, because it has some might on it. Yeah, I think that was everything that was needed to be said about Micaiah. Also, she's cute. I think she's cute.
Yeah, one of my favorite designs in this game, and this game is from pretty good designs.
Yeah, she's female design done right, in my opinion. Caters to both sides of the fan service aisle.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's fan service done tastefully.
Yeah,
she has cool dress. She has a cool clothing style, I guess I'll say it.
Ow.
Hair color.
Me and Mecca agreeing on something related to women. Never thought I'd say it today.
So this let's play is over.
Alright, guys. So, bye. Okay, so let's talk about Edward.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the options menu.
Yeah, we already did, I think. So, Edward. What can we say about Edward?
A lot, and everyone would get angry over it.
Yeah, Edward is such a polarizing figure because you got one half of the community loves this guy and, like, will swear he's like the best unit in Fire Emblem. The other half will just say Edward's really disappointing. On my first playthrough, my Edward got really busted, but I'm perfectly aware that he got RNG blessed to hell, so I could use him like tank tigers, which was pretty crazy. But I mean, if you look at his growth rates, he looks really impressive. I mean, 60% strength, 65% skill, and 60% speed. That's really good for a Myrmidon. Myrmidons are also sort of helped out in this game by the fact that you got Storm Swords, who provide them with sort of a nice ranged alternative. It's not as shitty as the Light Brand from the previous games. I think the Storm Swords hits physical, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you talk about Wind Edges, which is
Wind Edges, yeah. Storm Swords,
yeah.
The upgraded version. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Wind Edges personally help out Myrmidons quite a bit in this game because they're not just sitting ducks at one range. So for that reason, I think that Myrmidons are a little bit better in Radiant Dawn compared to what they've been up until this point. However, it's going to be a while until you get her first Wind Edge, so it's not like Edward's going to enjoy that in the early game. Edward's like, if you're lucky on his first few level ups in the Dawn Brigade arc, he can serve you pretty well. But if you are a little bit unlucky and he doesn't get the stats he needs, he very quickly becomes a liability that just dies. I will also say that since we're playing on Maniac mode, it's also called Horde mode, I'm just calling it Maniac mode because that's what it's called in Japan, it's sort of a continuation. The weapon triangle gets removed for some reason. I guess they figured it makes the game harder, I guess it does. And that really screws over Edward in these first few early chapters, because he basically takes 15% extra hit against all the axe-wielding enemies of this chapter. So you can't really rely on a weapon triangle advantage to tank the sword wielders. And that really sticks him over in a big way. But I've definitely seen how intimidating Edward can get towards the late game when he becomes a True Blade. And the Rat skill, while it's nerfed pretty heavily in Radiant Dawn, it triggers on 30% instead of 50%, which is really bad. So it's not really a super reliable tool anymore. It's still decent to have on him every now and then. I rate Edward like 3 out of 5 stars. I think he is... like, he can become a good unit, but you need a little bit of luck or bonus experience to get him there. And I definitely understand why everyone's so polarized about this guy, because depending on what you do, he can either become amazing or he can become a total joke.
I think Edward is fine on easy mode and sort of okay on normal mode because you get a lot more experience there. But in hard mode, Edward is not a good character because he gains XP at a slower rate. You get less bonus XP to make up for it, and he also has like a harder time hitting stat benchmarks. He doesn't double as much. I think there's even a chance that he stops doubling, like either in this chapter or the next one, which is a big difference compared to normal mode and easy mode. You covered most of the problems. I do want to say that Wind Edges are pretty shitty weapons overall, and until Edward is like promoted and like beating out enemies, he's not going to have a very reliable time hitting them or KOing them with them. So he's still much worse off compared to other people who can use like hand axes, for example. You also cannot forge Wind Axes, whereas you can forge javelins and hand axes. When you do get access to forging 1-2 range weapons. So that is a big disadvantage for him. Another thing I want to mention about Edward is a lot of people will rate him based on how much they like Zyhark, because you get both of them in part 1. In this game, Zyhark joins as a pre-promoted Swordmaster. I actually think that's almost completely irrelevant towards Edward's rating. I think you should judge units by themselves and compare to every other unit, not just units in the same class. A lot of people like to do it that way. I don't, because you can compare units directly. So it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. But even if Zyhark didn't exist, I would still think of Edward the exact same thing. He is a guy that needs his growths to activate a lot of times to become good, because his bases are pretty mediocre and he's very frail. And when he has a hard time promoting on time, and the Dawn Brigade does not get that many chapters to promote, so he really needs to make the most of when he's around. But every chapter just gets worse and worse, just like Micaiah, even though he doesn't have to promote to like the story set promotions. So I don't think Edward is very good. I will actually give him 2 stars in hard mode. I don't think he's very good. And yeah, anything else I have to say about him can probably wait until later.
Yeah, I will say that I think both me and... we haven't talked about this actually, but I think both me and Mecha will probably rate units based on what they contribute in the chapters they're in. Talking about availability in Radiant Dawn is very tricky since characters come and go a lot. So when I give out a rating, I will rate a unit based on what they do in the chapters they're available in. I won't say things like, oh, but he's like not available in this arc and stuff like that, therefore I give him less stars. When I rate Edward, I rate him based on what he contributes in the chapters he joins in, not necessarily what chapters he is and isn't part of.
Well, I do take the availability into account. Edward's availability for the most part is fine because he's around for part 1 and bits of part 3, and then all of part 4, like most units. So I wouldn't like penalize Edward for not being around in part 2 or something. However, someone like Moiram, for example, who's only around in late game part 1 and then stops being around for like the entire game, I will penalize him for that. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to rate him just based on... Yeah, exactly.
Ileana does like leave for a pretty big majority of the game, if I remember correctly.
Ileana is actually the most available character in the game.
Is she? Oh.
Yeah, she's in part 1 and in part 3, unlike anyone else.
Oh, okay. My bad then.
You're probably thinking of, I don't know, Tormod or Nyla or...
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably.
Ileana is like the person who goes from the Dawn Brigade to the Grill Mercenaries.
Oh, right. Yeah, I just remember Mr. Antonym being angry about that, but I guess I need to go back and rewatch that part.
He's angry about everything, so
that's
he's probably
true.
confusing it with something.
Probably. Alright, so I will be talking about the bonus experience and the requirements. This map has a 20 bonus experience clear bonus. So you get 20 bonus experience just for clearing this map. In order to get the 10 bonus experience. 10 bonus experience.
We're feeling generous, you can tell.
You need to clear this map in 10 turns. Ooh, will we be able to do it? I don't know.
I don't know. Can you do it without getting a game over? That's the question.
I don't know.
Yeah. I will say that these guys, they all have bronze axes, so they don't want to kill Micaiah quite yet. So if you want to front line with a frail-looking girl, now is your chance.
Shabla, 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 shabla. Shabla. Look at that. Look at the fast animations.
I thought we weren't doing voice acting.
I got a voice actor, Shabla. Look at that. Perfect.
Yeah, this kind of things make you think, oh, I can actually train Edward, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean...
You'll be fooled.
I agree. He's he's pretty deceptive. Like, you think that somehow, I say 9, will this actually be enough? I know there's some stat variations on these guys. I think. So that sometimes you might think... I seem to recall resetting on this map, only to have one of them have, like, 1 extra point of strength, killing Edward or something.
You can always, like, have Edward meet shield. Yeah. The only thing about Edward's Wrath is if you try to expose him to, like, a lot of people, and then he unexpectedly kills more, it's like he can expose himself to more enemies than you want him to.
Yeah, I think you can place Edward here pretty reliably, but...
Yeah, there's a chance of death if, like, all these brigands hit him or something, and he dies.
Well, he can only get attacked by 1, but...
Well, but that's my point. If he gets in Wrath range, he can kill one of them.
Yes, this is true. This is very true.
But it didn't happen because Mag's luck.
Hey guys, did the Dawn Brigade order bad units?
No, we got plenty of those. Get back here.
Alright, bye! So yeah, like, hey, we need a new character for the Dawn Brigade. What kind of character? What character should we... What character should... When the evil Shredder attacks Leonardo, he delivers double attacks. So yeah, here's Leonardo. He comes with a Draco Shield. This is his most viable contribution to the Dawn Brigade.
I don't count this, so 1 star.
Leonardo, also known as Tellius version of Klein. Like seriously, they are so similar to each other in the artwork. It's crazy.
I was gonna say, yeah, gameplay-wise, they're not similar at all.
No, Klein's actually good. This guy's not. So a lot of people will not shut up about the fact that he managed to get your personal bow. Okay, who cares? He's still bad. He is an archer. Like, I don't really know if I need to say anything else than that. I mean...
We're done. Let's play.
Right. Okay. Now, so yeah, he's got a really high skill growth. Whoop-de-fucking-do. 75% skill, yay. 35% speed is too slow. While I will agree that 10 base speed is alright for this stage of the game, he can double some of the bandits, I think, in the first few maps. He can't? Okay, no. I'm just misremembering, I guess.
This game's benchmarks are very different from GBA farming benchmarks.
Right. But yeah, like 35% speed growth is really shit. 40% strength growth is also pretty low. Bows also do not have the best stats. He also comes with the cancel skill, which is a super weird skill to put on an archer. Yeah, sure, if he attacks another 2-range enemy, there's a chance he might not get counterattacks. I guess that's No, that's actually pretty bad. Like, I don't understand why cancel's a skill you put on an archer. And yeah, sure, later on you can take it off him, but you can't really do it for the first arc. And I will actually say that the Dawn Brigade arc is probably one of the hardest parts of the game, just because of the shitty units that you have. So I would really appreciate him having a better skill. Yeah, he gets that personal bow. I don't remember how good it is. I don't think it's worth using him for, really. I rate Leonardo 1 out of 5 stars. He'll do some chip damage in this chapter and in some of the other chapters to come, and I'm grateful that he's there, don't get me wrong, but it's just, as far as the unit goes, he is probably one of the worst units in the game.
Yeah, he's nice for setting up KOs for other characters, and that's about it, really. He doesn't do enough damage, he doesn't double anything, he's very frail again. 17 HP is ridiculously low for this game. 10 speed would be nice in, like, if a GBA character had, like, 10 base speed, they would double random bandits and archers and everything, and it would be really decent. I'm trying to think of, like, a character to compare him to, but I can't really think of anyone. I guess this is one speed below base Marcus, to give you an idea, but Leonardo doesn't double, and Marcus doubles everything, so this game's enemies are actually very strong, but your character's also a little bit better, so it's hard to compare them directly, but Leonardo is very slow, whereas Marcus is one of your fastest units, so that should give you an idea of what the power gap is between these games. It's like they're all power creeps. But yeah, being a bow user, just not that great. Not in any Fire Emblem, really, except a couple of them. But this is not one of them. This is not a game where you want to be an archer in. Personal bow, he only gets in part 3, so you have to struggle through him, through all the troubles he has in part 1, just to get him like promoted for part 3. And then he might be viable with the bow. It gives +5 speed, which sounds really nice, but then he's just too slow to double, even with it, I think. So it's just... It is not pretty. Probably one of the worst trainable units in the game, I will say. He's not unusable, no one really is, but he's pretty bad, so 1 star.
It does come with the Draco Shield, though, which is really nice.
Yeah. Also, this game has crossbows, which would give him 1-2 range. It's like short bows from like basic bitch Fire Emblem hacks, but crossbows negate your strength. And you can also use him only if you're 2nd tier or above. So, not very useful for him. It didn't do much damage.
Yeah, I'm just thinking right here. I can kill this guy and then sacrifice, but I will probably get knocked down to 6 health. This is actually scary. I think it's probably better to kill this guy with me. No, I can't kill.
I think he, if you heal up, then you get the same thing as last turn, right? Where enemies could attack him.
Yeah.
You could go back a little bit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. These guys have 5 move, right?
Yeah.
So if you move back a little more, you won't be in range of that other bandit. And you will get.
Yeah.
3 shot.
Yeah, that's again. Then I can just sacrifice. Yeah.
Oh, you could just. Yeah, this also works, I guess.
I do like the inclusion of herbs. Like herbs, they heal for 10 health, and I think vulneraries heal for 20.
Yeah. Vulneraries are really OP in this game, actually.
They are. It's really nice, and I just like having 2 different healing items. It sort of makes it a little bit. Also, the inclusion of Lagoose Grass, which is wonderful. What I really
many weed jokes coming up.
So many weed jokes, yeah. I do hate that on hard mode you can't check enemy ranges, but I will applaud them for trying to increase difficulties in other ways than just trying to like arbitrarily increase stats. I do sort of like that a little bit.
Yeah, I actually think the enemy stats in this mode are pretty well balanced overall with your main characters. It's just the XP gain is very low, so characters like Micaiah and Leonardo really end up feeling it.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the boss moves in this chapter.
Yeah, I think he does in hard mode.
Yeah, so as you can see right here, yeah, one wonderful archer right here. Amazing. Good job.
He's setting up a kill.
Yeah, yes, that's good.
Yeah, he also has a good support affinity, actually. It's like water, which gives attack and defense pretty good.
Yeah, we actually haven't talked about their affinities at all, but affinities actually... Ooh, yeah, that's good. That is really good. Strength speed, that's what he needs. But the affinities, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they matter a lot more in this game. I'm actually gonna smoke some weed on Micaiah just to get her up, so I can sacrifice. The affinities matter a lot more in this game because you can support anyone with everyone. And that is actually a pretty big deal. It makes the Earth affinity characters really good. Nice wrath right there. Lovely. Any character with Earth affinity is going to be really, really good. Because you can basically, like, especially if you support 2 Earth characters up with each other. I mean, you saw how OP that was on Kieran and Oscar in the previous game.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to kill this guy with... Yeah, he cancelled. Whoa. And then I'm probably... Oh, wait. No, I fucked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm good.
Isn't it a fighter instead of a brigand?
Oh, yeah, he might have more move.
You know, you can still check their movement stats, but you can put Edward in front, I guess. You should have killed this guy with Micaiah and then healed up with Edward.
That would have been better, wouldn't it? Pretty sure 6 move? He does have 6.
You're gonna die.
Does he one-shot me?
19 attack? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he one-shots with Leonardo.
No, he doesn't. Still annoying, though.
Still bad.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Yeah, so Brigands have 5 move, but Fighters have 6. That's actually something I was not aware of.
Well, this is one way to learn.
Do you think you are the Dawn Brigade? Like,
is it the Dawn Brigade?
Is it the Dawn Brigade?
Is it the Dawn Brigade?
So, can I kill him? Let's see. 6 damage plus 9 damage plus 6 damage. Is that enough?
Not double guy. No.
No, I'm gonna have to back off. So I'm gonna have to put Leonardo here.
10 turns. It's looping.
We'll be fine. There you go. And then I'll place Edward here. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is fine. We'll do this. I don't think I can sacrifice this turn. No, I cannot.
I think he had 15, so he should take 14 and be fine.
Yeah. This is fine. No. Oh, come on.
Oh, the joys of not leveling up. Yeah. Like, imagine a Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn speedrun where Edward has to gain good stats to go fast. That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Poor Kirby Master.
Oh,
Poor
yeah.
12.
You give
Gosh,
proper
that was absurd.
thieves a bad name. Alright, I think this should be it. Oh my god, that was
exact
really
math.
that was really fucking close.
Imagine if Edner didn't get strength.
Ednerd. I love how
Yeah.
you call him Ednerd.
So Flykin called him every time he didn't gain the level up he wanted. He's like, Ednerd.
Alright, let's see. I got 2 levels on Ednerd in this. I'm gonna start calling him that too. Hit points.
Magic is
Oh my god,
everything.
not again! Not again! I refuse this!
Begins.
No more magic, please. So that was the prologue beaten in 9 turns. Yeah, boy! Speedrun. Fantastic. We won.
You've got a low standard for speedruns.
I'm gonna keep track of the turn count, so... Alright, ladies and gentlemen. What should they do, Mecca?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah!
My channel and his.
Yeah, both the channels. And
All the channels.
join us next time as we take on Chapter 1, where we get to meet Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Bye, I'm Mecca.
Yeah. Great introduction. Outroduction. Fuck.
Introduction.